Good afternoon. We're here with Hugh Whelan, President of the ACI UK. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Jonathan.
And thank you for all the involvement of the ACI at the event. Can you share a bit how it was so far?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, thank you for allowing us to partner with you. And I think it's been a first day or two has shown some real engagement across the event. So that's been excellent. And the panel this morning was great as well. And I was on the panel, as you know, talking about liquidity.
Yes.
It was called Swimming Naked. It's a...
Mea culpa.
Yeah, exactly. I got a lot of stick over that, by the way. But,
okay.
Just from mates and in the industry, so it was fun. But,
okay, good.
But it's one of my first time I've been at these events, and this particular event, and it's a huge amount of engagement, and met so many people which I wasn't expecting to. And although it's predominantly retail, as we just mentioned before the interview, there's a lot of institutional hybrid retail organizations which are large clients of ours and who are also part of my ACI association. And there's a real engagement, so it's interesting.
Brilliant. So we were discussing the ACI and its role in the FX industry and beyond. Can you elaborate on the next steps and the next partnerships and areas that you're about to cover?
Yeah, so fundamentally it's a members association with original focus on foreign exchange, but we're broadening that out to cover payments, digital assets, derivatives, and just be a more broader organization, because the reality is we need to, and foreign exchange has given us a lot of support over the years, but we need to have broadened our association because the financial services is a lot broader. So growing
interconnected in a way.
Yeah, and interconnected, much more so. And payments these days is very much on the transactional front, and there's so much more going on in the payments sector. So we've just introduced and invited a new executive member onto the committee from All 21.
Oh, yes.
Pritesh.
Pritesh,
yeah.
Well-known figure.
Yes. And,
Sugden, I think,
yeah,
financial?
That's correct, yes. And we have Noel Singh on from Sugden, so he represents the commodity side of the business as well, plus the prime of prime and the hybrid institutional versus retail.
So does that mean new training programs or?
Yeah, so we're all about training, and foreign exchange has been the basis of it, and we form part of a global ACI, and it has a very strong bend towards education. We have a number of certificates which also have accreditation to CFA and other exams, so it's widely acknowledged. So yes, we are looking to develop that further. I think in the payment space, actually if you look at the global code, which is a big, strong aspect of what we do and how we educate and how we actually manage ourselves within the foreign exchange space. It's self-governance and principle-based. So the next iteration, which is going through a draft discussion and upgrade, talks about payments versus payments, which is a very interesting topic and very much an area focused on non-financial institutions, because they don't necessarily have access to the large settlement systems called CLS through the interbanks. And so the code has gone a long way to suggesting that there needs to be more innovation in that space as well as education.
And how does adoption look like these days? Are there any major institutions left who are not either adopting or considering adopting the code?
I think on the sell side it's fully adopted and there's a strong advocacy there. I think where we're still struggling is on the buy side.
On the buy side.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how we solve for that. There's been a lot of work being done on it, and I think it needs a little bit more engagement. And I think the organisation and the industry as a whole is trying to bring more of the buy side in, and they have been consulting on the code. So we are bringing the asset management community, the hedge funds, the systematic guys in to help us navigate that a little bit more.
And that's a good segue to your role, to your additional role. As the head of liquidity management?
Liquidity management and data.
And data?
Yes.
Okay, at SGX. So perhaps you can share what is the role that SGX play in the market structure and where you want it to go or you want it to be in the upcoming years.
Yeah. So SGX is Singapore Stock Exchange. We're not just Singaporean, we are a global business. very much like the London Stock Exchange or
in Hong Kong.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So we have offices all over the world, and we are both listed and OTC. And so Singapore Stock Exchange acquired BidFX and MaxTrader, both large and significant OTC businesses in the last few years, to supplement and augment their FX futures business. And the strategy is there to be an all-encompassing foreign exchange provider across listed and OTC, and develop fungible products around it, as well as software to allow medium, small size financial institutions price, make, aggregate, distribute, white label, service their clients, as well as offering a macro hedge fund, which is the main focus of BidFX to service their needs.
So this ties in quite nicely with the panel, the liquidity panel.
Yeah.
Again, swimming naked
Yes.
was brought together. I think
Warren Buffett. It was a Warren Buffett.
Yeah, Warren Buffett. When the tide goes down, you can see who's swimming naked.
Yeah, correct. Yes.
So I thought, let's see who picks up on the quote and who just blames me for being
yeah,
rude.
No, we all got it.
No, you guys for sure, but
yeah.
the rest of the attendees remains to be seen. So it brought together almost the full range of the FX market structure or the FX space. So what was surprising or what left you more optimistic after hearing, Alexei, Hormoz, Benedict?
Yeah, so look, I'm more institutional. This panel was split between retail and institutional, and I think the surprising thing was the consensus around the fact that liquidity management and liquidity per se has moved on, and there's much more knowledge around what's good liquidity, what's bad liquidity, how you behave, and what are the rules of engagement. So, we talked about what is quality of liquidity look like. It's not just price.
Okay.
It's fill ratios. It's also about how you behave yourself, how
Yes.
you go about executing. My comment was less is more, which means you don't need to gorge yourself on 20 LPs for It's about maintaining that relationship and really having the right liquidity when you need it.
So relationship still plays a role in the electronic space.
But it's more data driven. So then we focus on data and analytics, and data is more prescient today than it ever has been. And actually the real challenge is how you aggregate all that data and normalize it so it makes sense to you, because there's so much of it available. And it's having a common understanding of the data set so you can make sense of it, and then have a common conversation with anybody, whoever is your relationship.
One of the things I heard, and on the panel said also Yakov from PriceOn, if I'm
Trader Tools.
Trader Tools, right. PriceOn is the
product.
device,
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
product.
yeah.
So the interesting thing for me was how much attention is spent on toxic traders or rogue activities. So does that activity reaches you up the ladder, up the chain of the liquidity? If someone acts in a certain way with his retail broker, do you feel it?
Yeah, you see it. You can see the print. Normally we call it recycled liquidity.
Okay.
And you can see the print. If somebody's misbehaving or misusing their liquidity by repricing it or trading it in a incorrect way, you will see it reverberate through the marketplace. And if you're a venue like we are, where you have significant participation, you will see it, and it hurts.
Okay.
And then you have to triangulate and work out, well, where did that come from?
Right. Okay, so good thing you have a data in the title so
Correct.
You can ensure it happens. Hugh Whelan, thank you very much for your
Jonathan,
time and your
involvement.
involvement.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.